Alright, this is Edge, and you are watching my review of I Am Setsuna. So this game is a kind of like a flashback RPG, I would say. It's done kind of like a herald to Chrono Trigger. I've never played the game. I wish I have. I have the ability to. I really should. But nostalgia doesn't really do it for me. I think if you're selling a game on nostalgia, it's not worth it. So I'm in a better position for this game in my opinion, because no nostalgia. It's just the game itself selling me on it. So this is a JRPG, kind of classic style, I guess you could also say. So for me, as far as RPGs go, I got into them a while back when I was younger. I got into Final Fantasy VIII was the first JRPG I played. Then I went back and played 7, played 9, somewhere along the lines, 10, 12, 11 was an MMO, so Legend of the Dragoon, couple of the Tales of Phantasy Star 3, like just naming all like the history of my RPGs. My favorite RPG, like JRPG of all time. I can't say favorite of all time. I have it as one of my most favorite RPGs is Final Fantasy. Like no number, no nothing, just Final Fantasy. When it comes to rating an RPG, I consider story over gameplay over the rest of the mechanics in the game. So keep that in mind when I go to rate this game. Story takes a precedent over the gameplay elements. I think gameplay is important for an RPG, but you need it to have a good story. So with that being said, let's get into the actual stuff about this game. Well, gameplay, it's an ATB based battle system, which if you know turn-based games, there's like kind of three types of turn-based. You can have like flat turn-based, tactics-based, or ATB. This is the one without gauge that fills up, and when it's full, your character can take the turn. This is a new game. I'm playing on this so that y'all can't see spoilers and everything. So, because I've been in the game, there's spoilers abundant within multiple elements of my game. So, just playing on a new file. There's Sprite Night in this game. Sprite Night is, if you've played Final Fantasy VII, it's like materia. They're items that you obtain, and you slot them into your character, and don't have any slot in here, but Cyclone. And they basically allow you to use your skills or magic cure of the game. Depending on Sprite Nights that you have, you can see combo in the bottom right. You can get combos with certain people. Charge and Cyclone equal X Strike. Combos, when both characters have their ATB gauge filled, you can initiate a combo. You can approach monsters from behind to kind of start a preemptive battle. When you do so, I'm going to be pausing so that I can keep up with this. You get a momentum point. So that circle next to the right of each character has a circle to the right of their ATB gauge. That circle is the momentum gauge. It fills up as you take damage, deal damage, cast spells to heal and all that. And just for having your ATB full, as you can see, it fills up. Well, when it's full, you can spend momentum and get like add physical damage and all that. So it depends on what you're doing for the momentum, what exactly happens. She had 2 momentum, so yeah. Time kill, momentum kill, I'll go into that later. It's part of the loot system, and it's quite innovative in my opinion. I like it. I didn't show off a combo there, so let me get into another fight and just kind of demonstrate what I mean by combos. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a normal attack with Ender. So, go to Eterna. I cannot do X Strike. As I said, both characters need ATB to be full. This is just explaining it further, like the actual visual representation. And I'm spending momentum on it. and all that, but if I have her available now and try and do it, well, now I can use it again because they both have momentum. But you get the thing, and both need momentum to spend momentum on it, and both need the ATB gauge up just to do it. That's not always the case. There might be certain skills you come across that allow you to not do that. As you can see, the game's kind of a... it looks painted or drawn to me, but it's kind of in the old style, just it's not 32-bit, 16-bit anymore. It's actually fleshed out graphics now, which I guess that's really good for today's gamers, but seeing as I still go back and play Final Fantasy, I'd be okay if it wasn't. Okay, so that's about all the gameplay systems like that I can think of. So the crafting systems. There are crafting systems in this game. They're kind of, I don't really feel right calling them crafting, but let's say I want more Sprite Night. So I find this vendor here. He's the Magic Consortium. They're in like every town. It's hard to miss. And I'm going to sell him materials. So you see I have white materials and green materials. And I'll get into how to obtain the white materials later, because this wasn't really... they told you, but they didn't approach it that well to me. And so you sell all the white materials. Keep the green ones. Those are for your chef. You sell all these. And you can see on the right side it says wall, large leaf, unknown bone. I don't know if I have an unknown bone, but powdered bone, hexagonal pendant, stuff like that. So you sell all these, and you get gold for doing this too, which I will say gold is like no shortage, because you're going to be selling all of your items that are like these white materials anyways. So it's like, don't worry about gold. Like I'm at 21,000, you start the game with 10,000. So now like I want wall. As you can see, it requires 1 large leaf, 1 unknown bone. I have 1 leaf, 4 bones. So I'll have 3 bones left over. It's simple. I feel like they didn't do the best job of explaining it, in my opinion. Like, they explain it well, but sometimes it's just kind of left out, in my opinion. So that's the crafting for Sprite Night. Let's see, where's the tavern? Is it this one? So you have also Weapon and Tally, who's like your weapons person. You can buy weapons, talismans. Talismans are like their equipment, let's say accessories. They have bonus effects and flux bonuses. Bonus effect is, do I have any with bonus effect? No. A bonus effect simply allows you to, it's like extra HP, stuff like that. Flux bonus is when you use momentum, you have a chance of anything equipped in your talisman to get that flux bonus. So it's like MP consumed, and you get that flux bonus, it will make that Sprite Night in your talisman cost less MP. So just whatever it is, that's what it is. All of these, okay. AS, any Sprite Night, support Sprite Night. A means any, S means support. There's also one that says C, and those are command. Command would be the attacks like Cyclone, Cure is also a command, and all that. Support can't be used in battle, but they're kind of always active. It'd be like increases healing power, or increases chances of critical attacks. Tempering items are what you use to upgrade weapons, which you don't even need to be at a blacksmith to upgrade your weapon. You just buy them there and you find them. Just go hit triangle, and you can temper your weapon if you have the items. The apothecary is the guy that sells you your healing items and everything. Something really important about the apothecary: there are no inns in this game. You cannot sleep at an inn to heal yourself. Tents are your ends. Most RPGs I've played, you spend like 100, 200, 300 gold at an inn. It kind of increases as you go on in the game. Well, tents are always 200. So you just buy tents from this guy. Just buy them. Okay, the chef. This was a system. You can click on listen to advice, read this, and it tells you what to do. But I feel a lot of people probably wouldn't do this. So I think I think the game needs to learn to explain things better, but I mean, it's fine. I kind of didn't even read it and still got away to get food, but as you can see, no food. I won't be able to trigger the conversation, but you talk to certain people. This is one of the people, and they'll give you a recipe, but you need to have the 4 items for it. So if I go look at what's in my inventory, I only have 2, Paprika Cobbler and Avalanche Kelp, which these are 2 of the ingredients of the 4 to get the recipe from her, and I don't know where the other 2 are. I wish I did. I'd go and find it for uses of this video. But to get the chef to have recipes, you need to talk to the people when you have all the ingredients necessary, and they don't tell you ahead of time, which is, I think, crap. They should like, oh, I need this, this, and this, and this. Can you go get it for me? And you say yes. Or you say nothing at all and go get it and come back. But when you have it and you talk to them, they will say, oh, this item, this item, this item, and this one, I need these. Can you give them to me? If you say yes, which you should, they'll take the items, cook the meal, give you the meal and the recipe. Then go to the chef and give him the recipe, and you'll have that item available from him. And like all these characters, like the vendors, you can go click on listen to advice and learn about what their services do. Some of them I feel don't even apply to them. Like if you do listen to advice on the apothecary, he doesn't tell you things about him. He actually tells you how to temper items, which, wouldn't that be the blacksmith to do? Okay. As far as I can think on crafting systems and the vendors, that's it. This is the world map, and when you're in a dungeon, a town, all that, it's an area map. Brain dead, but I figured I'd say it. There are no encounters on the world map, which, hey, that's cool by me. I kind of wish there were, but at the same time, be random encounters, and I'm not opposed to it, but I know some people don't like that. So, as far as issues and opinions I have on the game, character development, which story-wise, character development, this game kinda doesn't have it. It's there, but not there, if that makes any sense. Like, some characters have a good bit of development, you find out a lot about their backstory. Other characters are just kinda, they seem like they're just there on the back burner. And I come from RPGs that really delved into character development, so I'm used to a good bit of it. Like every character on your party would have their own story that they talk about. No. So it's new to me to not have all this character development, but I guess it's fine for some people. For other people, it bugged them. It bugs me quite a good bit. Alright, so the story of the game is remarkable. It is amazing. I really enjoy how this game's story was done. I think the story for this game was phenomenal. It was done well. I wish character development would have been a bit more of a focus as well. But, good story. I can complain on the elements that I don't like. So the momentum system, I'm not sure if I mentioned it. You can hit a button, which square button. I'm not sure if it ever changes the mapping or not. And you get the chance to add in elements to the attack. It might be an actual element, it might not. I did skip something. Okay, just speaking of elements, like I said, the drops of enemies, like looting, the loot system on enemies. When you fight an enemy, you can kill it in specific ways. Well, let's see if I get it here. No. Try again. Man, this one's just not dying, is it? Hoots and like this family of enemies are really dodgy. You'd kind of be lucky to hit them at this level. Okay, so I didn't get any special kill, but I killed them, so that's one item right there. If you can, let's let the momentum gauge fill up. Not who I want to attack with it, but whatever. So I got time kill, momentum kill. So there's multiple elements in this game, as is kind of standard with RPGs that I've played. So, and time is actually an element. So, like, time kill means, like, the element of time was used against the enemy. Same thing as element of fire, or shadow. I think it's dark or shadow in this game. And light would be, like, the lightning element. So, there's all that. And depending on how you kill the enemy, time kill, fire kill, momentum kill, you get different things for it. So it's good to kill enemies in multiple different ways. There's even one called the exact kill, which is as simple as you kill it within 10% of the remaining health, I think. And it doesn't have to be exact. You don't, if it's got 10 HP, it doesn't have to be 10. Well, as I said, I think it's 10% of the remaining health. So if they're at 10 HP, I guess you could kill them within 20 and you'd get an exact kill. That sounds about right. I mean, I'm not trying to do my math, but I think that's right. So that's how the loot system works, and I really like it, but I wish the kills got more fleshed out so I could put this into like my issues and opinions of the game. Like, it didn't seem like they explained a lot of the kills in this game. Like, it took me forever to understand that time kill was actually an elemental kill and not something relative to like you hit attack as soon as the ATB gauge finished, which is what I thought it was for the longest time. So as you can see, I'm obviously backtacking the enemies a lot for this specific reason of it's definitely allowing me to get a good thing. Okay, so link kill is a combo kill. You kill people with a combo, you get link kill. Let's see. I think the gameplay is very fluid. I think you need to, they need to flesh out certain elements in the game. Like, a lot of people don't read things for themselves, and I know they made this like an old RPG where you kind of need to read things for yourself anyways. But people don't, and you can't deny that fact. You can't expect people to either, in my opinion, because like, they're just getting spoiled with things that tell them what to do and all this. Like, somehow I think if it's audio, people understand it more than if it's not. Which, sure, that's all fine. Setsuna is poisoned and she is getting hurt every step I take, like Pokemon games of old. But hey, she'll get over it. I actually don't have anything to cure it, I don't think. But I think gameplay works fine. I wish, as I said, I think it works fine. There needs to be a couple explained elements and stuff. Talking about settings, so I don't mean like option settings, I mean like the setting of the game. So as you can see, the world map, it's very snowy. The whole world is pretty much in winter. That's how I would word it. Hold on. Get rid of this damn poison. So every outside environment is pretty much a snowy forest or a snowy mountain, stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. And like caves are icy caves where there are differences per each cave, but I mean like, it's an icy cave, blue tint, all that stuff. So it's kind of, it's quite repetitive in that sense. Then you have ruins, like ancient ruins. They don't really explain much about them, but you got ancient ruins in this game. Snowy mountains, and there's actually two variants of the mountains, so you might be very hard pressed to notice it. It's like one looks like one of the mountains is like a blizzard storm, one of them isn't. Let's see. I'm actually still not asking for the ingredients. I'm sure I got all 4 of them now. Probably going to continue the story for it, which I'm not going to do. But yeah, so settings on this game are kind of repetitive. I won't even say kind of, but it doesn't bug me that much. So if you don't want to look at a snowy place all the time, might not be the game for you. When it comes to... Okay, so I remember I heard a review. I'm just trying to see if I can get that to trigger. Okay, I remember I read a review not too long ago. I'm not going to mention the game or anything, but they were complaining about backtracking. It was for an RPG, and if you complain about backtracking in a JRPG specifically, that's bullshit. I'm not going to mask my words there. It's just, it is. That has been a feature in so many JRPGs that were heralded for being amazing. That was a feature. And you might say, oh, those were back in the past, this is now. How are you going to get around that feature? You could teleport back to the place. That's still backtracking. You didn't have to walk back there, but still backtracking. This game is full of backtracking, so if you don't like backtracking for whatever reason that you don't, which I can't find an issue with the concept, but this game won't be for you if backtracking is just like so devastating to you. If you're okay with it, or if you're just like partially okay, like the game will be fine. Let's see, anything else I need to approach? The backstories, character development, story. I think I've about talked about everything in the game that I had opinions of and everything. So overall, what do I think of the game? I think it's an amazing game. As I said, I don't have the nostalgic value of Chrono Trigger to go off of. And I love how you just like make tracks in the snow. That's why you'll often find me doing just running in circles and stuff. It's just, I like this. This is so cool. This is just awesome. But anyways, got sidetracked. I think the game's amazing. It's an awesome game. Oh, difficulty. I think it's a pretty mediocre. Like in the medium of difficulty. Mediocre is not the right word. It's a good difficult game. First time I play the game, and like you can look at my settings. I have it set to active ATB. Of course, I use memory mode. It helps out a lot for some fights. Other fights, it doesn't really hurt, but it doesn't help. But so I played the whole game on active ATB on my first playthrough, and I found the game challenging at points, but easy at other points. And about the only time I found it challenging was against bosses. Now there are certain enemies and they're like Sprite Knight touched enemies. So these enemies are very tough versions of normal enemies. And I will tell you right now that if you're not prepared and you fight one of them, they can one-shot your party, they can one-shot a character, and they will, and you'll get a game over. It happens. It happened to me a couple times. I didn't really think it was like a tough element of the game because it was just like you aren't like they're like end game enemies. Like some of the ones you fight early on are good for grinding and stuff. Like probably only one of them. The second one I found was devastating. And I learned my lesson. Like don't fight them unless it's the early ones, like the early one. I want to say. But, and I don't, like I said, I don't chalk that up to difficulty. They're just there. I wish there was an easy way to tell them apart. Some people say they glow blue. I never noticed it. Never did. But, okay. As I said, it's quite easy. Many of the bosses are actually what's difficult. You might run into Sprite Knight touch monsters. They're always in the same place and always the same type of monster in that place. That's the Sprite Knight touched. But, like, those are the only hard aspects. Yeah, that's about it for that one on difficulty-wise. It's a good paced game as far as difficulty goes. That's what I have to say about it. Now, looking at what would I score this game? I don't really like doing like the points, like 0.5, 0.25. I don't really like that. I try and give games a solid score. So this game I would give a 7 out of 10. It's a really good game. If you like JRPGs, I recommend playing it. If you like RPGs that are kind of based off classic style RPGs and all that, just go for it. Go for this game. I recommend it. The elements that were kind of confusing, I went over in the review. 7 out of 10. It lost 2 points because it kind of didn't really explain things that well. And really, I'd say a 1.5 for like not being too versed in explanation of its systems. And then it lost another 1.5 for a lack of character development as far as story goes. And that's about it. This is a great game. Play it. It's worth the $40. It's $40. If you don't want to spend $40, wait for a sale. This game will be on sale multiple times, I guarantee you that. PlayStation sale, Steam sale, whatever console it's on. As far as PlayStation sale goes, next year I know they're going to probably do a Golden Week sale again, which Golden Week is like a Japanese holiday. They'll be on sale for that, more than likely. Like every RPG was on sale this Golden Week. I have no doubt about it this time. Anyways, this is Edge from Hitstone Gaming. My review of I Am Setsuna, 7 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed. I wish you all a wonderful day, night and evening. Wonderful morning, day, night, whenever you're watching this. And just have